Child, they done got this thing. I think this is the live chat. I'm so tired, y'all. Tired. Oh, I hope y'all can hear me okay. And it's hot. Y'all, it's hot. Navy Federal, we're gonna use you as a fan. I got my AC set at something, but I came in the house and I was not supposed to be running, but I've had a total of 5 days off. I scheduled 4. So, well, I scheduled 2 plus the 2 I normally have off. I'm normally off Saturday, Sunday. I had scheduled 2 days off. We'll talk about that here in a minute because that's part of my conversation. And then I had car stuff I needed to deal with. So I'll talk about that while we're waiting, giving people a couple of minutes if anybody come in. If not, I'm going to talk about what I'm talking about regardless. Chicago BBW, what's up, baby? How you doing? How's the weather in Chicago? Y'all starting to cool off? I believe certain parts of the country are starting to cool off. We still hot as hell. Still, girl. And the sun outside, it feel different. That's all I can say. It feel very different. That's what I'm gonna say. It's been hot as hell. So, y'all, let me chat. Oh, see, happy birthday, baby. I'm gonna ask your age. I don't care. How old is you? How old is you? How old did the Lord let you get to? Praise Jesus. How old is you? Oh, you a baby, but them 40s is nice. They get you ready for these 50s. I'm a lot older than you. Oh, I'm old enough to be your mama. Yeah, because I got a niece who's 40. I'm old enough to be your mama. Especially if you had them, when you wasn't supposed to be having when you was a kid. But, yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm still taking the shots. I actually had slowed down a little bit, and I'm going to talk about that later. I know you probably got to go celebrate your birthday, but I had slowed down taking them because I was having stomach issues, and we were checking for colon, the colon cancer bleeding, that. And when I did the Cologuard, it came back okay, no DNA about possible cancer, no blood in the stool. And then they checked me for H. pylori. So then I've started kind of back up, and I just had them increase the dose. So I was maintaining the 407 because that lost, I went from 443 to 407. I maintained that on the last weigh-in I did, but I hadn't lost anything. And probably too because I had stopped a few things. Yeah, better. I'm still having mobility issues. So the knee on the left is not as bad. The knee on the right had started acting up a little bit. I still have issues with the lower back, and I still have some balance issues to the right. With that happened after that event I was saying with my heart. So it happened after that I noticed the balance was off. I still have to go see neurologists, but I'm a person who has to deal with things in segments. So I want to deal with my gut first. That I've dealt with, so I'm back on the regular shots. I got the 1 milligram to finish up, and then I think they're bumping me to the 3. My knees are okay so let me explain. My left knee is okay now that the weight has come off. My right knee was doing something different. Hey, Chief Bug, homie, I ain't seen you in forever. My niece says she could see it in the face. I still don't see it. I still feel very fat. Oh, you sweetie. I'm sure some of them are. I'm just blessed I'm still walking. I was using a rollator more frequently, going back into the car, back and forth with my car, even on my non-work weeks. I now can walk back again without the rollator as much from the house to the car without it with cane, and without using a rollator. But when I'm in office, I have to use a rollator because I got too many places to walk around in the company when I'm in office week. Oh, well, thank you. I'm happy y'all can see it. I don't see it. To me, I'm still got the fat face, but thank you. Yeah, my niece said you can see it all in your face. I'm going to tell y'all where y'all can see it. No more arms. I got to start working out. So I'm going to have, obviously, skin cut off later on once all this is done. But the arms have definitely dropped it. I can see it in that because I got that big old piece of flab on both arms now. But yeah, the Ozempic is working. Last weigh-in, I had maintained the 40-pound weight loss. Was a 40. I went from 443 to 407. And so I had maintained that when I did my last weigh-in. I had stopped the Ozempic for a little bit because my stomach was bothering me so bad. Plus, I was going to do the Cologuard and I was going to do the H. pylori, and I didn't want anything interfering as far as the reading. So I personally just stopped it for that time frame. I did a restart, and then also because I realized the weight had not moved, I told him to go ahead and up the dose, because what they do is every time they usually weigh you, they up the dosages. I think I'm at 3 milligrams or something like that, the new shot, but I haven't started the new shot. It's in the refrigerator. I got to finish out the 1 milligram, then move to, I think it's 2 or 3, something like that. And then I'll move to that shot. The other thing is I started running into one of the side effects is constipation. So I did start running into that, but I'm using the Miralax and the there's some tablets you take. I got both. The tablets I like because I only take one and it keeps me flowing. I also haven't put the Citrasil in, but I'm going to start putting that in too. I'm doing some things trying to get the house in order because when I was having the mobility issues. I still got stuff that I just haven't done. And I have moved stuff in here I haven't touched. It's all stacked to the side. So I'm going through stuff that's got to go to Goodwill. I bought a brand new desk over here for my work area, for my work desk, for more room and storage. Have not even put that together yet. I've got another raised bed for outside. I haven't put that together yet. They were going to give me like a $5 something credit on wallyworld.com to do a review. Couldn't do a review because I ain't put it together. So tonight is a goal to try to get that together. I may even work on trying to get this desk up because I'm working tomorrow. But we'll get into that. But how you doing? H.E. Bach, where are you at in the country? I forgot what state you in. Where are you at? Anybody watch this? Give us a like, thumbs up, and share it out. And if you want to subscribe, do that. We just chinwag here. Let me know where you at in the country. Okay. Oh, you in Illinois too? Okay, both y'all in Illinois. Okay, I got you. Yeah, I've heard other parts of the country are starting to cool off. I mean, it was baking. Little man, where that at? Child, the car. These folks right here. I don't know if y'all can see this. I went to the dealership. Y'all, I want y'all to see that amount they're telling me of work that need to be done. Y'all see that amount? They on crack cocaine. $2,566.80. You are smoking crack. Y'all crazy as hell. It's not happening. Not through them. I may get repairs, but it won't be through them. The dealership done bumped their head. I'll tell y'all about it in a minute. So, I got a letter from Kia. Let's talk about the car real quick. I got a letter from Kia. They said, hey, there's a brake line issue. It's a recall. And we need you, get your car in, especially in you areas where the car has been in salt and all that. Get the car in so we can check the brake line to see if the brake line is corroding or whatever, right? So, I gotta laugh, y'all. I had that issue. I was gonna take care of that on Saturday. So I scheduled that. But also, little man Hulk had gotten a screw What restaurant? Tell me what restaurant, child. I don't remember. You gonna tell me what restaurant that was, homie. You know I ain't gonna remember. What restaurant was it? Tell me what restaurant. Tell me what restaurant it was. I'm trying to think. Did I go eat in any restaurants? I don't remember going to eat in any restaurants in Illinois. Not unless it was the truck stops. Oh, there was the one that had the secure truck parking, but it was a truck stop. But they had a pretty good restaurant. I used to go, I think I went there a couple of times. Oh, there was the one that was over there across from the Costco. It was a truck stop too. It's a TA. They've been around for years. They were celebrating their anniversary. That little restaurant was off the chain. It was a TA. I want to say it start with an R. They had good steaks. And the Italian food. And I went in there on their anniversary. I still got a keychain from them. So I forgot. I'm going to have to look it up. But that's probably the one. Because I went in there on multiple times. Girl, yeah, you got me. I'm like, what? Because I know that I had ordered stuff to the truck before. I know too. I went to a Walmart out there. I know I used to deliver to the Jewel. So I know those things. So okay, let me go with the car drama. So several weeks back, I went for I go to Discount Tire. I don't know if y'all got discount in your area, and they have a free air check. So I always get my air check free. I like free air checks. Plus, they look at the tires. So I go get the free air check, get a guy a buck, and he said, oh, you got a screw in your passenger side front tire. I'm like, okay. And I said, well, how much is it to fix it? And he go, it's free. I'm like, oh, okay, y'all cool. Now, I don't know where the tires originated out of. I'm going to be honest, the name I see on the tires, I did find on the Walmart site. So whoever had the car prior to me may have bought them tires at Walmart. I don't know. The brand could also be a discount to somebody else, but it's Kahoma or something like that. I forgot the name. But anyway, I did see that on Walmart because I think I'm looking at the same brand of tires or something similar. That brand is on. I'm like, hold on, this is the tires I think the car has. So they repaired it, but I noticed after the repair, my car kind of pulled a little bit, okay, to the right where the tire was repaired. I'm not thinking anything bad. It's a typical putting on a tire, but I think because there was a patch in the tire ain't quite the same. Okay. Also, it's probably due for tires because I've had the car a couple years now, right? Going on, next year will be 3 years. So I'm like, okay, I need to get this checked because I also want to know, do I need to get tires done? What do I need to do? So I went to go get my tires checked out, but you got to wait. It's a long wait getting tires checked out. And he's like, yeah, you coming around, dude, probably. You could see a little cracking on the sidewalls. I'm like, okay. The tire's been there for a while. I don't want to be like Monty where they dry rot and you trying to ride on raggedy tires that definitely going to pop eventually if you don't get them tires replaced. So because I knew that, I wasn't scheduled for Wednesday off, but I took Wednesday off. And honestly, I kind of needed it on top of everything. I just had a lot on my plate. So I took Wednesday as an unofficial day, but I had already scheduled Thursday, Friday. We're going to talk about job issues here in a minute. So I took that and they gave me 3 days off plus my regular 2. So that's 5 days off. So needed because I was getting burnt out with my job. I'm going to be honest. I love the company. The company itself has a lot of good features to it. There's some other issues. We're going to talk about that here in a minute. Just gonna leave. We're going to talk about that in a minute. But the company itself, good company. They've been around a very long time. They remind me of, I didn't work for Motorola, but I knew people that worked for Motorola. They remind me of a Motorola with kind of a feel of a Chase Manhattan, not JP Morgan. I can't speak to JP Morgan. I didn't work for JP Morgan. I worked for Chase Manhattan. I worked for the original Chase Bank, not the motherfucker. And it reminds me of Charles Schwab. And I'm going to say original Charles Schwab. I don't know how it is today because it's not owned by Schwab anymore. It's owned by somebody else. And there were things that were starting to change while I was there because he retired while I was there and his buddy took over and then buddy messed things up and then they had to do like 3 layoffs to bounce back from what his buddy, because his buddy wanted to make the company more like a Merrill Lynch. That was not the focus of the company and that was not the direction. But the second in command, which was his friend, you know, I want to be a big boy. I want to be like the big boys and I would be a Merrill Lynch. Well, sometimes you need to just roll in your lane and understand you have a corner of the market that is a good corner of the market to have. And it also, how Merrill Lynch may have gotten to where they at may not be how you want to get to where you want to go. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. So unfortunately, it did affect it. So we ended up having a bunch of layoffs, like 3 of them. I survived all of them. I ended up leaving because I moved out and bought a house way far away from the company, and my commute was crazy. And then I went and worked for a telecommunication company, and that turned into some drama. And then I ended up in trucking because of that drama. Leave that there. So this company does remind me of certain good companies I've worked for, but with any company, no company is perfect. And a lot of what can make or break a company can be your leadership. I'm just going to leave that there. We'll get to that later. So anyway, I did end up taking in communication. Communication is huge. And lack of communication, huge. Don't know how to communicate, huge. Don't know how to treat your employees with customer service, how to respond in a customer friendly way. Trying in conjunction with me, but I can tell you my initial interaction with who I have now was not that experience, and it's still, there's issues. I'm just gonna leave it there. Y'all, I'm just gonna leave it there. So I was burning out because when we first, and I'm a bridge to, let's bridge backwards. Well, let's finish with cars. So when he got tires, things, made definitely new tires, which I'm just gonna end up upgrading them. Then I knew that I had the appointment for the brake line, and I also needed to get some other things checked. But I wanted to make sure the tires would be okay because it's really hot right now, and I don't want tires pop. I mean, it can happen, but I don't want it to where, hey, does it look like this thing gonna pop? Because I got to do some appointments on Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I know I'm coming in Saturday, but I also got to do some appointments. Can I get through for a couple of weeks, or am I getting ready to have to bust out of pocket and get tires? So the assessment was, hey, you probably can get a little bit more out of them, but you may want to look at replacing them here in the near future. I'm not getting them at discount likely. I'm probably going to go through Wally World because I'm going to do an afterpay. It's just easier to do that. Y'all. So dealt with little man Hulk for a good chunk of my day on Wednesday. Took that day, and by the time I got done and got back to this house and got out that heat, it was so hot. Walking from my car, it felt like there was no layer between the sun and my body and my head. And that it was just, I haven't felt that. Maybe it's because I'm getting older. I'm a native Arizonan. It's like something is missing between the sun and us. And it used to be there in the state of Arizona. So there's layers missing. And so the sun was baking on me so hard, I was like, my God. By the time I walked in this house, I got in my shower and I crawled in my bed. And I don't know what happened, but 4 or 5 hours went by and I woke up like, I don't know, 7, 8 o'clock at night. And I had went to bed around late afternoon. So 2, 3 o'clock. And I don't know where everything went. I think I got beat by the sun, and he won. He whooped my behind. And he won. So I woke up. Did I go get something to eat? I can't remember. I might have went and got something to eat. I don't remember because Wednesday was a blur. It was just so much on my plate. So I'm going to back up to days off. So I started with the company I'm at in one position. And it was they have 2 entry-level positions. And one is just above the other. They have one position where they take, when an accident happened, they take the call to go ahead and do the accident. Tiffany, what's up? How your weather? And I got 2 Tiffany's. So is this my Tiffany in Maryland? Or is this my Tiffany in Dallas? In Texas. Might be Houston. So is it my Maryland Tiffany or my Texas Tiffany? I'm just asking. And wherever you at, what's that weather like, sis? So I'm getting old, so forgive me. So lo and behold, Alabama. Do I got 3 of y'all? Alabama. Sorry, Tiffany, I don't remember Alabama. Hold on. Louisiana. Okay. I'm like, Alabama? Okay. I'm like, what? Where did I get a Tiffany in Alabama? They got good food, though, I ain't gonna lie. Tell me a state, I'm gonna tell you we got good food. They got good food. They can cook. I don't care if you're white or black in Alabama, they can cook. Same as Louisiana. It don't matter if you from there and you grew up there, they can cook. My grandmother is from Louisiana. My mother's mother is from Louisiana. They can cook. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Um, Back to my story. So when I started at the company, I was in another entry level that's just above the first one. Okay. And the first one takes in the incoming reports of the accident. My group would make claim decisions as far as whether it's your fault or the person's fault, and then we start handling the claim. Unless there were injuries, then we would put it over to another department, or if there was other issues, there's another department that might get involved. But for the most part, it usually came to my level, decisions were made and handled. Well, after my coming up on my year, I was starting to get a little bored, and I could tell, because I kind of had gotten a groove of what the department I was in was doing. And I'm very methodical, so it kind of had a methodology to it, and I was flowing in it okay. And so I was like, well, let's go ahead and try for something else within the company. So the team manager that I got, not that first cray-cray lady, that first cray-cray lady, God bless me, because I was getting ready to throw them people the peace sign and be at a whole nother company. I started interviewing for other places. I was like, absolutely not. That lady was horrific. Hold on, y'all. Let me stop YouTube from going. Story time, y'all. Enjoy story time. And what's the weather like in Alabama right now, by the way? Because I was asking, pieces of country are cooling off. So, Tiffany, what's your weather like in Alabama? So in this, the first lady I got, she was horrible. The second lady I got was extremely good. Very good. Actually, and I call her legacy. So her family, this company I'm at, the family, they may have family members that, oh, that's always, yeah, we not at 88. We've been struggling between 119 and 110. It's been hell. It's been absolutely hell. You walk outside and just feel like there's no layers in the earth between the sun and your head. It's just absolute hell. My uncle, who was a minister, he told me, we were at a family reunion on my grandmother's side, my great uncle. He said, y'all want to avoid hell? Go outside. And then y'all need to talk to the Lord, because this is the closest you go get to what hell's. Woo! Uncle Sonny was a fool. He said, look, y'all don't want to go to hell, so I'm going to tell you, walk outside. Stand out there for a little bit. Come back in. And we're going to altar call. Because that right there is telling you what hell's going to be like. I would want to avoid having to be in that the rest of my life. He a fool. My uncle was a fool. Facts. He was funny. So it's been like that. It's been like a type of hell here in Arizona. It's been hot as Hades. It's been real hot. So I'm telling two stories today, y'all. I'm trying to think, do I want to tell the company story right now, or do I want to tell this other story? Let's tell the other story first, because it's more interesting because it happened today. And then I'll tell the work story at the end. I'm going to come back. So y'all try to remind me. Anybody who's left on here, or if I'll try to remember. This is going to be my entitlement part of things. Entitlement. And then the other one is liar. That's going to deal with the company stuff. So this morning, I've been going through. So I knew I was on burnout. I was on burnout at work because I hadn't had any days off. Well, I'm going to mix it up a little bit. I hadn't had any days off. So when I promoted over to this other area, it was a lateral move. So it was a lateral promotional. And when I came over to this other area, when we came over, there was a lot of bad stuff. And a lot of the people that came in my training group, in the background, people aren't happy. Okay, they're not happy with the experience. Even though a lot of people aren't saying anything, there's aspects of the experience that were really, really bad. Coming into the company, I thought it was organized. I thought the training was very good. I thought they laid out everything very well. I thought they were very transparent. Everything about coming in and the group that I went to, I thought was done very well. The lateral move, absolutely not. It was horrible. It was absolutely horrible. And I don't know if that's everybody's experience, but I do know that my group, side conversations that we've had, folks unhappy. There was a lot of deception. It felt like deception. It felt like you were duped. And that's never good. And it does leave a sour taste in your mouth. And the sad part is it's a good company. I still think it's a good company. I just sometimes maybe a department or a group needs to reevaluate how they do things. And I would say that needs to be done here. Like right now, there's things going on that I feel like I walk into my job and somebody just throwing balls at me and say, hit these balls. You hit about 25, 30 of them balls. You win. And by the way, do your regular job too. It's really, really crazy. So that, and like when we came in, we had no access to time off. The calendar, they had already done their bid for like, I think 6 months or the year or whatever. So we got screwed as far as time off. We were told that licensures, some of our licensures, if not all of them, we would have to give up. So we weren't told that we would be coming to a non-licensed pool. So insurance has states that require insurance licensure and states that don't for autos. I can't speak to anything else. I'm talking about automobiles. I'm licensed for everything. I think with the exception of a couple of states. But I'm licensed for virtually every state. I think one or two, except for one or two. But we're told, oh, you guys are going to be dealing with non-licensed states, and so you likely are going to eventually have to give up your licenses. Ma'am, sir, you should have told me that crap before I accepted this thing. That should have been part of this this posting, because I probably wouldn't have posted for it. That's number one. And the reason is what I did just to get the license and the study. So unlike my niece who could look at paperwork a little bit and look and have a cheat sheet while she took, I couldn't do that. I couldn't have an open book when I took the test. They had just started with a new testing company. I had to do everything off the dome. So I learned all my stuff. You couldn't take any material home, whatever you learned on the computer. And at the end of the day, I had written notes. And then I would sit here with YouTube University. I found a lady called the Insurance Exam Queen. If any of y'all going to insurance, please watch her. She's good. I watched that woman. I binged her Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and even the days of the week while I was studying. But Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I didn't watch TV. I watched and listened to nothing but her. If I had to go to the store, I was playing her on my phone and listening to her in my ears. I was watching. I had notes. I was doing everything. So because I studied at that level, when I went to take the test, you were supposed to get, I think it's a 70. I got a 90. Okay. And I'm going to say it's because of that binging. I didn't know I was going to do that good. Because in order, you had to pass the test to keep the job. So, and praise God, you just needed the 70. But I'm going to say I did very well because of the goal and the focus to pass. I was like, I'm passing this. And so now you're telling me I got to give that up? Homie, homie, homie. Do you know what I went through just to get that? Okay. So that became very disconcerting. And the fact that it was not little things like, oh, here's another plunk of poop. Here's another plunk of poop to tell you something else. Oh, by the way, we already bid it for time off. So, y'all get whatever's out there. So we go look and months were just red. I mean, there were no days. So then if you go to a team and you had a team manager who was not going to work with you, then they could say, no, I'm not going to do no emergency days for you. Oh, well, ain't no time coming out of our training. Finds of the schedule, and I had to make my doctor's appointment within that. Now I do have some things on file now where if I need to do a doctor's appointment, I can just do it. But I'm gonna tell you, it was tacky. I'm gonna say it. So, and this is coming over to this group. So time off we didn't have. Where you normally, our department is Monday through Friday, so we got Saturday, Sunday off. The average person is going to take Friday and a Monday off, or Fridays or Mondays. Those are going to be the hot days. And then if you want to have a little bit of time to recoup, you're going to take Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Saturday, Sunday is normal, and you take Thursday, Friday off. Or you're going to take Monday, Tuesday, and you're going to do Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. None of that was available. The only thing we got was our normal Saturday, Sundays off. Days after a holiday, they had already bidded for that. We couldn't get that. Even when we did the open bid, most of us, oh, y'all can't get, you're not eligible for any of that. The hell? So I could feel I was already coming to burnout, because I don't care what you do in a life, you need to have scheduled time off. You need a time of a break. You got to recoup. Otherwise, you're going to start burning out. And also because in our prior role, a lot of us had times where we might have been off the phone for half a day doing claims and then half a day on the phone. That gives you a little bit of a bounce back. Over here, that wasn't the case, and we didn't know. You got 2 hours, which is not the case anymore. You normally get, maybe they're giving us an hour, and we just on phones. And I'm just like, whew. So there's things that if we had known, I think other choices might have been made. That's just facts. When it came down to the training, at least for my group, there were things that we were supposed to learn. I work in an injury group now. And unfortunately, a lot of the stuff wasn't working. Our access wouldn't work. We couldn't get it. So there's stuff I still, to this day, I ain't got a clue. I don't got a clue because it wasn't working when I needed it. Now the plus is we don't have to use it. They got a whole nother group handling it, which is working. And so we were already told too, you guys are just going to handle property side. Well, that's what I did in my prior role. So you're going to handle the property side for the injury group. Okay, I did that in my prior role, and not a problem. So, but I got, the only difference is over there I had a lot more authority as far as decisions. I didn't have to ask a lot of permissions. It was like, okay, handle the claim to the finish level. Boom, bam, boom, bam, boom. And so I was able to do that. Over here, I got to go through another person for certain things and permissions that I didn't have to do over there. Okay. So I was hitting burnout, and they finally opened up the vacation calendar for the remaining of the year. And it looks like they opened up some time off. So August through the end of the year into part of, I think, next year, I was at least 6 months. I was able to get time off, and I was able to I did like every other month. To tell you how much I didn't have time off, I've earned up to over 86 hours of vacation time in less than 6 months because I couldn't take any time off. Other than doctor's appointments, which I had to schedule on the random days that I could find on the calendar. And then I'm trying to schedule stuff before I start work. And then we have something called life leave, so it wouldn't cause an attendance problem if I had to run a little bit late because I'm getting out of the appointment right around 9-ish, 9:30 in the morning, whatever, because I'm supposed to start my job at 9:30. Trying to fit in labs, trying to fit things around when I'm in office, because my doctor's office, my main doctor's office, even though I have other doctors and stuff I do, my main doctor's office is right near where I work, right? So, giving y'all just some background. Do I think the department is bad? No. But what I get is haphazard. It's just like, I feel like balls are all in the air. And for me, I'm a very methodical person, in which I love the last TM. He picked up on it right away. He says, you're very methodical. I am. So when I do my job, I set a pattern. To me, by setting that pattern, I tend to cover the things that I need to cover. Now, one of the titles, I guess that came out of me coming out of the original training that I has along my career journey is perfectionist. I am OCD. So, and I know it. I mean, I'm not technically, I've never been clinically, um, I've never been clinically diagnosed that, but I'm pretty sure that if I was go see somebody, they gonna say you got OCD. OCD. My father had OCD. She was the cleaning type OCD. Growing was he everything in a pattern, and I get that. I have to do that when I'm dealing with my work life. And even like when I put something together, if I don't come together, if I do miss something, I will take that thing apart and put it back together again until it's right. So that is, some people look at OCD as perfection. It's not necessarily perfection. It just means that you are very methodical and you also want to do it right. I don't like half but stuff, which is one of the problems this company has right now. I'm gonna leave that alone. Hopefully they figure it out before it's too, before it's too late. I'll just leave it there. I'm gonna leave it there because there's some stuff going on in the industry, and that's part of the problem. But I'm gonna leave it there. Um, so we didn't have any time. We had nothing, and a lot of people are burnt out. I can tell, and I was burning out. I could feel myself irritable with my customers, and I'm not like that. I definitely try to help whoever I'm on the phone with, and I try to be thorough. Because one of the things that I'm hating is when I end up talking to a customer, they're frustrated because the person you talked before you is just either trying to get through the call, hit whatever they times are, and get you off the phone. And then you sitting there boo boo kitty because you don't know what the hell's going on. You don't know how to handle your claim. You weren't told this, that, and the other thing, and you totally confused because nobody took the time to explain the process, to explain your next steps, and to make sure you understood because they don't care. They just want to get you off the phone and move to the next thing. And so therefore you have a higher repeat caller. This is something I will give Verizon when I work for them. One of the big things they did is we don't want repeat callers because repeat callers is more money. Every time somebody calls, you're tying up resources. You're tying up the resources of the rep. You're tying the resources of the phone, of the line. You're tying up resources. And we should have handled that in the first call. There shouldn't be 10 calls because nobody explained to you how things worked. And so, but these people, they just want to process through. And even though you got the repeat caller, well, that processing through would diminish if you had people explain. Also, they do got to update technology game. I'm just going to say that. So I ended up going over this other department. I did. Um, it was a promotion, lateral promotion. So I'm what they call a CA, as an associate. And there's others that are called specialists. I'm an associate, okay? The next level would be a specialist or higher if I decide for whatever opened up. When I applied to come over here, I was applying for a specialist, but I think they just automatically moved me into an associate because something changed. Like I said, there was a lot of stuff that just was switched without conversation. And you accepted the job because you see the money they're about to pay you, which is a nice chunk of change. Because I think it was a 10% pay increase. I think it's a 10% pay increase. And the grade level went up. So that's pay increase and it is a promotional grade level increase, but the title is still the same. So go through the training. And like I said, there was just a lot of stuff that I don't know if it's purposeful. I don't know if it's just, I don't know. I don't know if they don't know what the heck they're doing in that group. I don't know, but it wasn't good. The other thing was the schedule. When we came in, we told we're going to work from this schedule to this schedule. Now, honestly, I'm not a morning person, but the reality is I can adjust my life according to what I know. Just randomly changing crap on me, fingernails on a chalkboard, absolutely hate. But I thought it was even worse for people who were parents, mothers, taking care of family members. They had to rearrange their life on a dime because all of a sudden we get to a certain point in training. Oh, well, this person, this peer coach, his schedule is this. So unfortunately, guys, y'all are gonna have to come in an hour and a half earlier in order to meet the. Then you should have got us a peer coach that met our schedule. The hell. So now we're adjusting. We got people who are parents trying to scramble and make arrangements for their children and or whoever they may take care of. It was a mess. This was our training. So we got the announcement. Some of us may be losing our licenses. We got the announcement. We can't really get scheduled time off unless we go through a manager who, really depending on what type of manager you get, whether they're going to approve it or not approve it. We got this really weird schedule adjustment that after went through the formal training, and all of a sudden in the informal kind of like hands-on training, stuff ain't working, and the coach got one schedule, so yeah, y'all gonna have to adjust y'all schedule to his schedule, and yada 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 yada. I'm like, oh my God. But we all still hung in there because I think in the grand scheme, you hoping things just get better, and this is just gonna be a bad training experience for this part, right? Y'all see me because that's just my stress level. So when I got out of training, I was grateful to God. I got a gentleman. I knew the name, but I had not really worked with him. But I think I may have interacted with him a couple of times over in my old department. And I then saw I had emails from him where he covered for the Cray Cray team that I had. And then I still had a rapport with my old team, and she's like, hey, you reach out to me, because she came from this department. She was a specialist before becoming a team manager in my older department, the one I came from. So she knew the job. And she's the one who said, I think this is a good fit for you, yada, yada, yada. Now, there was another group that reached out to me, but they reached out too late. And I had already accepted the position over in this group. I'll be honest, now that I think about it, had they reached out to me first, it probably wouldn't have been it would have been the better move for me to have gone with them. Okay? Based on what I've experienced thus far. Now, I got over here. I've done pretty good, I think. At least in what my core gig is, because it's almost virtually the same as what I did before. And I'm just chin wagging y'all talking. We're going to talk about the other drama here in a minute. So, and whoever catches this later, catch it later, because I'm only going to tell this story and then I'm going to get it off of here. I ended up going over to this other area. And now, and I was actually going to do this as an independent video, but I'm going to talk about it here, and then I'm going to talk about my other drama this morning, trying to keep this under an hour. So I'm now at a point where I've been in the group, in this department, 8 months. And the company is now starting, because right before winter, they start opening up positions and movement. So some positions came open. One of them was an internal specialty position that's new to the company. I put in for that. Well, apparently you can't do a lateral move to lateral move if you haven't been in your position a year. But you can do a move from your position to a promotion within 6 months, or after 6 months, 6 months or more. You got to be there at least 6 months. So when I came over to the team I'm at, I'm telling this story for a reason, because I don't like games and I don't like liars. I don't know which one you are, but I don't like games, I don't like liars. When I came over to this team, over to this area, I got a really, really good team manager. And come to find out, he trained the prior team manager I had, the one that was good from the other department, and I didn't know that. And then I was like, okay, that makes sense, because there were things about their training style, their communication style, their coaching style that was very similar. And then when I found out he trained her, I'm like, hey, okay. And both of them are very good. So I'm going to say this for management, y'all, for business. There are people who are naturally good managers and leaders. They just have a gift. And I'm going to tell you, from my days working at Chase Manhattan, seeing it at Schwab, and in some other companies I worked at, that you see good and bad management. Most is horrible. Most management is not great. But at companies where they want to make managers who groom and develop, those are the type of managers you want to be under. There's another type of manager that's like this madness we got on top right now. Okay? Like this great we got. That they just want yes people, and it's about them, it's about their ego, and it's about manipulation, and it's all about them. It's narcissism. And those people, it ain't about you. They give a good doggone about you. When I was working at Schwab, there was a guy, and he was like a VP or something. His boss was a representative that when he was a regular supervisor, he spotted some things about. He groomed him, and that young man superseded him, and then he ended up reporting to him. And he would giggle, but you could tell both men were very comfortable in their skin, and he said, I just knew he was good. A good manager is okay with grooming you, developing you, directing you, and if you supersede them, they're not intimidated, they're not uncomfortable, they're comfortable in their skin. It's like a good parent who has children, you raising them, and you want your children to do better than you. Now you have other parents, like the genius that was my father. Them parents don't want you to supersede them. They don't want you to do better. As a matter of fact, they almost are okay with being not as good as they are. It's really amazing to me. But I know people like that. I know people who they want their kids in their house all the rest of their life, and if they don't go nowhere with their life, but be there with them, they're okay with that. And they stagnate their children's growth. You don't want that kind of parent. You want the parent that wants to see their kid thrive, even if that means you've worked all your life as a maid, but your child becomes a doctor. You want that kind of parent that says, I want you to do the best you can. I want you to do better than me. Because it's a direct reflection on the parent that's a good parent. Okay? Same with management. That's why I use that example. Same with management. And that was kind of what we learned when I was at Chase Manhattan on how to groom representatives, how to look for talent, and how to push them. I had another job that was kind of like that, but then when in the background, you did have a lot more of those managers that were ego. And ego means it's about me. I want to stroke my ego. I'll steal your ideas. I'll do all this hoopla, okay? And I'm not going to say that Chase was 100%, because Chase did have some folks that did some dirty stuff. I could tell a story, but I ain't going to tell that story here. I can tell a story of one of the people I know who got his ideas stolen by management, and they wanted him to be the janitor in the corner. And he got a little uppity, and he kind of screwed himself. But I kind of knew they gonna dick you, man. You want to be some muckety muck too bad, and you all up in people's face. When you want that bad, they gonna use you, and they gonna jack you over. They gonna jack you over, and that's exactly what happened. So that particular manager, three of us went to from my training group, and we absolutely loved. Well, it was 4 of us. It was 4, and 1 guy quit. So 3 of us were left from a training group, and we absolutely loved him. Well, he got a lateral promotion, and we had to go. We all got broken up, and so the whole team ended up going to various managers. And I got a new manager that 2 of us went to, but we had a girl from our training class who had been under him prior. And she was putting stuff in a side chat that we had regarding certain communications from this gentleman. And I was like, So when I found out who we were going to, I was like, oh, I'm going to have to go in my corner and pray. Now, I'll give anybody the benefit of the doubt. But when I start communicating with you and the communication is different sideways things, like you snap off, you pop off, you say something really short, and then you have to backpedal, that tells me I need to be very careful with you. Then when you tell me or you ask me stuff about my ideas and things like that, and say, oh, this is a normal thing I ask in every one-on-one. And then when I talked to somebody else, I said, when you started your one-on-one, was this question ever raised? in your one-on-one conversation and you tell me no, my red flags just went up even more, which I kind of already knew because I learned from, and I warn people. I don't know, y'all, I don't know what it is because I think people, because there's so many people in our world today who like to live in lies and delusions, that folks just tell you stuff and you just supposed to go, oh yeah, I believe you. As the young black folks say, you playing in my face. Absolutely not. And so I tell people, I'm 57. I've been working since I was 16 years old. I started in corporate jobs at 16 years old. Matter of fact, first job was a government job for a city government. I was part of a program. I was picked by the program by the mayor of Tempe's wife, who was an educator and ran the program at my high school. I'm grateful. There was only two, I think it was only two black girls. I think it might have been 2 to 3 Latino girls, and the rest was white folks, white girls. Matter of fact, now I think about it, you really could have called discrimination because she didn't have no men in there. I mean, any boys. It was all females. And I didn't think about it at the time. But Ms. Mitchell only had all girls. But I'm grateful. I'm grateful. I'm going to say it again. I am grateful because that opened the door based on my situation to where I was able to make it without a college degree all this time. We only talk about the Grand Canyon drama. I'm breathing. I'm breathing. I'm breathing. We move over to this new dude. And at this point, based on what the other chick that had come from our class had said in some of our prior things, I was like, oh, you're going to have to just really, my personality can be was my personality in training. My personality was that on my last team. But now it's like, I'm going to go back in my closet because there's things that I'm sensing with the individual we got now that ain't good. And I had a couple interactions that started off not good. And I absolutely not. Everything absolutely not. I don't trust. I got red flags on the play. Absolutely not. There's a whole bunch. And one of them is communication. One of them is socialization. And one of them is you say one thing, then you say another. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And you make up stuff. Oh, I sent you. Did you? When did you send that? Where is it? Oh, well, and then you change it. You change it. And then you place blame. Oh, well, okay. You done told me 3 different stories. So which the hell one is it? Which one is it? You said you did this. You said you did that. Then you told me this person did it. So I need to know which one of these 3 stories you done told me is correct. Then you want to pop off and tell me what I experienced in my training. I had to ask you, was you in my training? Oh, I'm sorry, you weren't. So no, that's not what I experienced, and this is what they said. Matter of fact, I got a whole crew of folk. I went back to one of them and said, let me just make sure I'm not missing this. This is what I'm asking. You remember this? Yep. Now, if you telling us this is the way it should be, then you need to go back and talk to your training group, your peer coaches, whoever, because that's not what took place. So now it's not even about the training. You supposed to be the manager. What do you want me to do? What's you gonna tell me to do? Whether it's right or wrong, what you telling me to do? This is what I'm experiencing. So recently I posted for something, and I'm okay that I didn't get it. I'm okay, because actually now I want out of the department. I want out of the department. Just let me go to a different department. So it was a specialty position, and initially, well, you can't do this lateral now because you ain't been here 12 months. So I'm like, okay. So he canceled that. I had to go back and read everything because I didn't know about this whole lateral. So I pull up my hire letter, my offer letter from the movement from my old department to my new department. And it tells you about time or tenure in your role. And it says that if you're doing a lateral, you have to be there for 12 months. If you're doing a promotional, you can be there 6 months. So I receive a notice when I go to update my time card because I was off on Thursday. Hey, you didn't get this other position, the promotional. You didn't get it. you weren't chosen, but you can apply for other stuff, yada, yada, yada. We don't get a reason why. Okay, I don't have a problem with that. That's fine. There might have been other people qualified. I ain't been there but that long. Maybe there's other people that want it. And I wasn't sure I really wanted it because it was a CS role in the area I'm in. And a lot of the specialists in my area are very stressed. And based on the haphazardness of what we've been seeing lately, just in my role, I wasn't sure that was the right move. So I'm always one who prays about it. And if it don't happen, I'm like, okay, Lord, thank you, because you know better than me. Well, since that fell through, I did go look because I knew that they were starting to post other stuff. And 2 other departments, one especially, that came up, there were roles that were promotional roles to those areas. I put in for them. I come in and he, I think it was a Friday, not working, but just go in to update my time card, get everything submitted. And he puts, oh, those 2 other positions you put in for, you're likely not going to get because you haven't been your time and role of a year. Why would you tell me I'm not going to get something? And I have been in time and role 6 months, and it's promotional, not lateral. I said, do you have time to talk? You have time to chat right now? This conversation I had with this dude was so weird. And by the time it was over with, it switched back so many times that either A, you don't know what you're talking about, B, you playing in my face, or C, you straight up lying, or all of the above. This was me the whole conversation. Oh, also, you're supposed to tell me before you put in for something. Oh, well, I apologize. I didn't realize that because normally it gives an alert to you as a manager. Like when I put in my other department, I didn't tell her. I just went and applied. And I figured since I didn't have any performance issues, do I have performance issues? Oh, no, I've been talking about your quality and blah, blah, blah. And he starts trying to change the conversation. I brought it right back around to what this is in this message you sent me. So I said, well, I'm curious because when you first came to me and told me about the lateral thing and that when you responded, that was going to be a no because I hadn't been in a time and role. I'm literally like just under 9 months and they wanted 12 months. I said, it's okay. I said, the weird thing is I put in for my other transition to a specialist, to an associate to associate. And I did that in around the same time frame and I got this, but I give it that because this gig didn't start until my full year. I'm okay with that. Okay. I said, but you're trying to tell me, well, maybe your letter, because I told him I have the letter that tells me about the times and roles. I keep stuff. Again, I'm OCD, y'all. They call me a perfectionist. I'm OCD. So I keep documentation. So I kept this letter. I got a copy of it. I got a copy of it here. I got a copy of it there. And I said, I have a copy of this. Let me send that to you. And I said, I'll send you that. And I got something else in you. Well, no, maybe it's outdated. Then he goes, well, the HR guy who was a hiring guy, he's the one that told me you. I said, So the information in the offer letter has now become outdated when it seems that this is standard for the postings I see. And then my other question for you is, since I'm looking at these other 2 areas, and these are specialists, which are promotion from where I'm at, it says right on that job posting that all you have to do is be 6 months in role. So do I have a performance issue we need to discuss? No. So you tell me I'm not going to get something because he can deny. He can stop me from even getting to the interview process. Okay? So I need to know why. And you're backpedaling and you're blaming and this and that and it's possibly expired. What is it, bruh? Which one is it? You playing in my face. So as I'm addressing these switchbacks, he goes, are you supposed to be working today? No, I'm off. You approved the off day because it was already approved by the vacation thing, and you just had to approve it for the schedule. Oh, we're not supposed to be talking. I said, well, I can't we talk? I'm not working. It's no different than if I was on a leave of absence and need to come over here and update the time card. Y'all don't have to pay me for this. It's my choice. And it's required that I submit my time card. It's not a big deal. And I'm just looking at jobs on here anyway. Guys, I don't like people to play in my face. Absolutely not. Also, I'm going to warn y'all of something. Don't be fools at companies. Don't be sitting up here giving these people your ideas so they can then take your idea and say it's theirs and make themselves look good. If you don't have management that is grooming you, and I mean grooming you not in that crazy stuff like what we got on top, where it's yes people and people who are going to give you their ideas, you run with and say you did this, you did that, or they can switch back and switch blame. If you got all that weirdness going on, you need to stay quiet and start planning your movements. Okay? Stay quiet, do your core job to the best of your ability, and start planning your movements. Because you need to get away from the weirdness. There's some other stuff that's happened, and I'm like I said, I'm not gonna get into that, but I've had some playing in my face. I don't like game. You don't come to me and say, oh, by the way, you're on X and Z, and well, you know, this is really XYZ kind of person. So you want me to agree with you, or are you asking me? Are you telling me and I'm supposed to agree with you? I'm not a yes person. Which is one of the pluses for me that at Chase. That's one of the things that I did like. They valued yes and no because they learned from all of the above. And not no in the negative way, but no, I'm not going to necessarily see things how you see it. The worst thing for any corporation is to put people who are yes people. This is why we're in this mess we're in now. You want a person who challenges you. You want a person who keeps you accountable. You want that balance. Because if you have a bunch of yes people, you're going to go a certain path. Hence BlackBerry. BlackBerry couldn't get out of its way because they could not listen on all sides to how they needed to change their technology. And they kept flowing in the same way. At Chase, we have focus groups. I was a person in the room, and then one of the pluses, I guess, was my VP when I got to start being in the rooms as far as being in focus groups. Everybody, some people, you know, they're going to try to agree. And I was like, well, I see something different. It wasn't a negative. It just, I would see things differently. And she's like, what do you see? And then I would tell her, and she's okay. And then you would see them work the plan with the plus, the minus, and come out with something balanced. I was in a focus group for employee retention. And all of what I was doing had helped me move quick. I mean, really quick. I don't even know if it was 3 months. The next thing I know was in management training and watching my teams and helping our training department and, man, sitting in rooms with the head of the center, and focus groups with him, the second in control. And I didn't even know. I'm just a young 20-year-old kid. She says, you are very intellectual and very analytical. I didn't know. I'm just sitting there, you give me something and it's how I look at things differently. And I'm very honest about it. And I'm not a kiss butt. I'm not there to make waves, but I'm not going to get into a bunch of drama. And like I said, as soon as I see you playing in my face, it's time to exit stage left, one way or another. So y'all be praying for me. I am looking at some other things within the company. I like the company, so I do want to stay with the company. I've got some other friends of mine who are like, come on over here. But I don't want to, I'm too old. I don't want to be really changing. I'm just really like a place I can settle. And I like a lot of the things I see about the company. Unfortunately, I'm under a different management style. Let's just say that. And I'm going to put that in Jesus's hands. I don't know if the guy's a good guy. I don't know if he's a bad guy. I don't know if it's a social issue. I do know he's got some communications issues. It's communication, but I think there's communication issues with a lot of people from certain areas. And some people are not, they don't have the gift of communication. And some people really shouldn't be management. I'm going to leave that in the background. Some people shouldn't even be doing customer service. Some people need to just be in a room by themselves, processing paperwork, claims, mailroom. You don't need to really interact with people. Absolutely not. Absolutely the hell not. You need to be in a room. Some people, that's your best fit. You don't need to deal with people. Because from my background, customer service is threefold. If you're in management, your boss is your customer. The customer is your customer. And your reps are your customer. And you servicing all of them people, okay? My ear just started ringing. So that's the story of the work drama. So y'all, for my Christian folks out there, say some prayers for me. The associate friend drama. Let me tell y'all about that, and then I'm gonna get off of here. So I have a associate of mine. I met her years ago at a cellular company. I remember when she had her two boys. I took her for, because she had it's a partial hysterectomy. I think they cut the tube, so she had to go for, was it in vitro or whatever. So I took her to an appointment for that. My gynecologist, I referred her to, and that's who she still goes to this day to. I remember I was there when both our boys were born, and I like her children. Her children, they're well-mannered, they're polite, they're sweet boys, they're intelligent, they're smart as whips, but they're spoiled. And let me explain. These two young men, smart as whips, got full ride scholarships to one of the university here. Their dorms are paid for, the school is paid for. The only thing that that they have to pay for is their fees. That's it. Everything else is paid, okay? So we're now in college, both of them at the same university. And they decide, I guess, they going, and let me say this, mama's originally from Cali, Compton, California. Very California mindset, that entitled, showy, doing too much. So these boys have decided they're going to get a townhouse opposed to stay in the dorms. And so for this townhouse, they're going to get, I guess they need to get furniture and stuff for the townhouse. So she decides to put out an Amazon wish list to pick up the things that they need for the townhouse they're moving into. Now understand, for the past couple of years, y'all been living in the dorm. You had all the things you needed for the dorm. The dorm is paid for. All y'all got to do is come with all y'all really got to do is come with the fees. So really, in my humble opinion, in the summertime, y'all should have been working. So mommy and daddy don't really help. There's some issues with there because they're divorced. Can pay for the fees, okay? Get a little part-time job. But again, this is the spoiledness now of these kids. So you enjoying your summer, chilling, mama cooking for you like you two. You kicking it at home in the summer. Mama working, she's 60-something. And y'all now gonna go get a townhome and want folks to pay for stuff in the dorm, and you requesting it. First of all, we are in an economy that is about to go through it's actually already in the process, but it's getting ready to get hell, y'all. Point blank, period. Absolutely the hell not, okay? I'm not coming up with a dime. When you graduated high school, I got them some little, I did a Starbucks gift certificate. And I can remember, I think it was $20 each. That's it. You get no more from me. I'm not doing nothing more. A, I'm not your mama. That's A. Okay? I'm not your daddy. That's B. And to me, you two grown boys, you're strapping. In the summertime, y'all could be working. You could have worked during the summer, earn some money, and have what you need to buy what you're going to do. If y'all trying to floss to have a townhouse when you should stay your butt in the dorms. Point blank, period. Let me back up a little bit so you can understand the mindset. I think I told this story a while about my friend who went on an $8,000 vacation with her two sons, just the same woman. Came back and then sets a committee up of people, random people, and reaches out to them for them to pay for portions of this extravagant graduation party she gonna do for the oldest son. She had a DJ, she had a bartender, she had somebody come out and a event planner set up the whole backyard. I think they had a couple specialty vehicles. They did that whole money thing where the kids standing there. It's just a ghetto fab to me. I graduated from high school. I had a cake. I got some cards and went to bed. It's high school, homie. This is too much. You're trying to be like these big stars, and some of that stuff is showy and ridiculous. I'm proud of you. You got to high school. we can have a little birthday, you know, have a little party, throw a cake out there, have some burgers. Everybody had a cooler with some soda or whatever else you're going to drink up in the cooler. We got bartenders, we got DJs, we got event planner, we got tents, we got gold. It was a lot. Linda was like, what the hell? She said she didn't look like almost like a reception for a wedding. Ghetto fab. One of the friends who she put as a person she wanted to help pay for plates and some other stuff, she said, first of all, remove me. You just took an $8,000 vacation to take you and your boys on. Put pictures all on Facebook. And you coming back asking me and other people to pay for stuff for a graduation for two boys that aren't, for this boy who ain't my kid. That's not my son, it's yours. Sounds to me like you should have budgeted for this if you want to do all this. Or you need to reduce this party that you having. I'm not paying for that. This person called me mad at this other person. This lady fighting cancer, her husband fighting cancer. Well, I went when her husband was in the hospital and I took him a Whataburger. And y'all, what the hell wrong with you? I said, sweetheart, A, that's that woman's money. B, she's telling you the truth. Those aren't her kids. C, maybe you should have rethought about the $8,000 vacation, or maybe you need to downsize the party. It's not her responsibility. But number one, that woman is battling cancer. Her husband's battling cancer. He's been dealing with cancer for years. They got too much on their plate. And since it's all about you and your boys, the nipple in the mouth, you want folks to kowtow to your situation of what you want and basically feeding the entitlement of this new children group. I can't stand it. So this morning I wake up to this request, hey, with some prayers. I was hoping you could help the fellas out. And I got the Amazon and they need a few more items off of there. I said, my response, homie, I ain't giving her name. I'm at GCU right now. I'm down to 2 freaking classes, which is going to estimate around $2,700. Is that right? Something like that. Under that, just around that, $2,700. I said, I don't have the money for that. I'm trying to get my finances in order and handling my Chapter 7 stuff to clean some stuff up. I got medical bills coming in from stuff going on right now, just trying to get back up on my physical feet. I got vehicle stuff, and I don't owe you that list. But right now, I need a damn GoFundMe. Excuse my French, y'all. I just got real. I don't got no money to give you for foolery. For absolute foolery. These babies got a full ride. Praise Jesus for it. And I think they're intelligent. They got a full ride plus the dorm. When they get through with their 4-year education, they won't have to pay a student loan. You know what a blessing that is. But y'all want to be all showy because of that entitlement and that nipple in the mouth that they think they should have instead of staying their black behind up in that dormitory room and they already got everything they need for the dorms. And they want to be showy. Well, then they should have got jobs this summer. Matter of fact, probably should get jobs out through the rest of the semester and buy and pay for what they need. That they need to know reality of life. Secondly, this is foolery at this time right now with all this cray-cray going on with this cray-cray there and what's about to happen economically. And y'all trying to floss. Absolutely not. Hell to the no. At that point, I ain't say nothing more. I was done with the conversation. And right now, I'm really praying because it might go on phone block. My level right now at 57 of dealing with foolishness, corporate business, foolishness with friends, I do my job. I try to treat people decent. It's me and the Lord. I have become more like Grumpy. I'm becoming more isolated. I don't have a tolerance for it. People are freaking weird. And it probably makes me weird because I don't have the energy. And I'm not going to deal with it. My life has been people cracking their butt cheeks from my mother dumping on me. I'm not. The nice and being used all the time. Absolutely not. Not anymore. Now, I'm going to have peace in my Middle East, as much peace as I can have in the midst of the madness we already in. You can jack with that or not. You come up in here with drama, you will be dismissed. You come up in here with foolery, you will be dismissed. And in the corporate arena, I got to deal with some foolishness. I ain't got a choice, unfortunately, on the madness of who I report to, unfortunately, and they weird skill set. But I can handle how I respond and what my moves are and how to hopefully maneuver away from the madness, which is what I'm doing. And it's funny because my friend who referred me there, she no longer works there. And she said the only issue, she says, a great company, only issue is that get the managers, it's just, it's a flip of the coin what you may get. And I'm going, shit, right now dealing with what I'm dealing with, she's 100% correct. Now I'm going to say he's not as bad as the other lady, although they're not too far apart on different issues. He is trying in order to, I think he's really trying, but it's worked for him on how to communicate, but it's worked for him. And I think there's some other issues going on because I can kind of tell and I kind of know there's some other things going on. But yeah, absolutely not. And like I said, you be switchbacking on much, you playing in my face. And this is me. Because I'm analyzing. That's what I do. It's exactly what that VP that I had at Chase said. She said, you're very analytical and you're very intelligent. And I'm analyzing the whole situation. And she said, tell me what you see. I laid out what I saw. Now, that wasn't to give ideas. We're all there focusing and talking about an issue. That's what a focus group is. It is to look at an issue and try to come up with a resolution. Or different ideas to try to, come up with ideas, employee retention. What else? We had different projects we were working on. And, yeah. Where it's not like a one-on-one where you're going to take my idea and lie and say it's yours. Child, bye. I'm going to give you the most generic idea ever. Matter of fact, it ain't even mine. Came from a whole different conversation. And it's an issue y'all already know y'all got. Got nothing for you, man. Get the hell away from me with that. Okay, if I got an idea I'm going to submit, I'm going to submit it on the site. I'm not telling you crap. I don't trust you coming to me with the dumb stuff. Playing in my face. Absolutely not. I did tell you I was 57. That's what I want to say. And not 5, youngster, coming up here trying to play in my face. I love that term for you young folks. Folks is special. That's all I got to say. And all I was thinking the whole time from the conversation on Friday, was this ninja right here. Absolutely not. Anyway, y'all, that's my story. Y'all will watch this later. I'll probably be on in a couple of weeks. Any advice, feel free to comment below. Chicago BBW, happy birthday. H.E. Bach, it was good to see you. Tanya, out in Alabama, and actually from Louisiana, good to see you. I'll be on in a couple of weeks. I think I might try to do these every 2 weeks. So maybe 2 weeks from now, I'll schedule it. And I'll try to get more advance notice. I got to go out here in this garden. I got to get up in this kitchen and refrigerator. I'm trying to get to at least maybe 2 of these boxes today. And trying to get this desk set up because I need to dismantle this one and put this one up. We're going to work on it, y'all. 2 and 2. Peace.